Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be doing what I said we were going to do in the Lines of Wits in the Wardrobe episode. We're going to be reviewing Saturday night's main event and the Royal Rumble. So yeah, so in this video we're going to be doing reviewing Saturday night's main event. And this show was decent. I mean, most of the matches were decent, but you know, it was nothing was like great or excellent. So yeah, I would not say there were any like 4-star matches or like 8+ matches on the show. So like most matches would be like around like the B, C tier, or B or C level. Okay, so the first match on the card, well, I can't say match because the match never actually got started. It was a it was a brawl. No, let me stop. Let me stop playing. C Jax and BC Amplified, especially C Jax. He likes to the way he says brawl. It's pretty funny. But yeah, it ended up being a brawl, and basically the lead up to this match was. You had the match with Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes on SmackDown, and so basically Jacob Fatu, he ended up attacking Drew McIntyre, and then Cody, for some reason, for reasons that we still don't understand, decided to go after Fatu instead of escaping the cage and retaining his WWE Championship. But anyways, he decided to go after Fatu, and then that allowed Drew McIntyre to escape out the cage door and become the new WWE champion. So yeah, like as I said, they basically they fought around the arena, and they were just fighting around the arena. They were going up into the stands, I think they're called, and they were fighting there, and then they were fighting in the, what is it called, the corridors, I think. And then they fought there, and then they fought in the, they went through the corridors, and then they kept fighting, and then security guards were getting involved, and then Cody and Fatu basically they ended up beating up some of the security guards, and yeah, and then they went back out into the stands, and then yeah. So the brawl basically ends with Drew McIntyre coming out of nowhere, and he ends up he does basically like a hair pull kind of. Well, I don't think he actually pulled Fatu by the hair, but it was sort of like with that, he sort of did he took him, and then he pushed Fatu. He threw Jacob Fatu. He did like a hair pull type thing while not actually pulling the hair. I can't really describe it. If you guys have seen the brawl, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, he does like a hair pull motion through and puts Fatu through a table, and then he low blows Cody after they fight. After Cody and Drew McIntyre exchange right hands, I think, and then Drew ends up giving Cody a power bomb through the equipment table. So yeah, the brawl was fine. It was fine. I'm not really interested in Jacob Fatu. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I know people, the fans seem to have been getting behind him, and good for them. But I'm just not into Jacob Fatu, bro. I'm really not. And then Cody, I'm not that big of a fan of Cody either. I mean, Cody has had some good matches, like the match with Dustin Rhodes at Double or Nothing in AEW 2019, and then the match with Chris Jericho at Full Gear 2019, and then I would say Cody's last good match would be the 2 back-to-back WrestleMania matches with Roman, which were just good, or they were entertaining. But Cody, I'm not that big of a fan of Cody either. So the fact that they wanted to basically, they wanted to put these two in a match together, I was not interested in that. And then it ended up being a brawl, which it's because you guys know that Triple H can do nowadays. He likes to do brawls. You guys know. If you guys watch C Jackson BC, what do they say? Triple H likes to do. What do they say? They say he likes to do brawls. There's brawls, cheap pops, title changes, and repeat. You guys know. So yeah, the brawl was fine, and then I'm actually glad that the match didn't happen. Even though it led to a brawl, which we see a lot of those nowadays. But I hope they don't come back. I hope they don't actually do a match between these two, because I'm not that interested in seeing that. I also don't want to see a triple threat match between Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre defending the WWE Championship. I don't want to see that. I really don't. I want Drew McIntyre to face somebody else. I don't know who, but I don't want him in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Don't do that to this man. But they probably will. Triple H is probably going to make that happen. So, yeah. So, and then next up, you had the women's, WWE Women's Tag Team titles being defended. You had Rhea Ripley and Io Sky versus Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. I was not looking forward to this match, at all, because the only person that I think is a great wrestler in this match is Io Sky. That's it. I am a fan of Io Sky. I think she's great. But I've never been interested in Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Roxanne Perez. I'm kind of nervous to say this, but I find her. I think she's a very. I'm laughing, but I think she's a very cute woman. Let's just say that. So yeah, I do. But in terms of actual wrestling ability, she hasn't really had a match that I'm like, oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was excellent. No, nothing like that. So I was not really interested in this match. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. But it ended up being decent. Just pretty much all the matches that happened on this card ended up being decent. So yeah, this women's match for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles ended up being decent as well. So you ended up having so there was interference from Raquel Rodriguez. I can't roll my R's. Not that's irrelevant, but yeah, Raquel Rodriguez, also at the Judgment Day, ended up interfering. She hit a power. I think she attacked Rhea or hit a power bomb on Rhea or something like that. I've never been a fan of Raquel Rodriguez either. So let's just say that I think Raquel attacked Rhea, and then Stephanie Vaquer, or I'm sorry, her last name, I'm probably gonna botch it. So I'm just Stephanie V. There we go. So Stephanie V. Or Steph V. I don't know. Stephanie V. Let's just do that one. So yeah, she ends up she ends up attacked. She comes out to attack Raquel, and then they go out into the audience, and then Rhea Rhea and Io, they do they double team I think Liv Morgan. They double team Liv Morgan, and Liv ends up getting pinned, and for Rhea and Io to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. So yeah, the match was decent. It was decent, but yeah, I'm not a fan of most of the women in the match. The only person I think in the match again that's a great wrestler is Io Sky. Yeah, so the match was decent overall. All right, next up we have Shinsuke Nakamura taking on AJ Styles. This match basically came out of nowhere, literally on on SmackDown, the day before Saturday Night's Main Event or something like that. They literally set up the Shinsuke Nakamura match versus AJ Styles. The Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles match. I'm not joking with you. I'm being so serious with you. It was something like that. They literally set it up. Literally the day before, or the week before, the day before Saturday Night's Main Event. I mean, what? What are you doing? No. and so yeah, that's basically what happened. And like the card only had 3 matches. So basically here's the thing. So say so say here's the thing. So say you take out the AJ Styles versus Nakamura match, and then that doesn't happen, and then the brawl between Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes still takes place. That means there will only be 2 matches on the card. Like, no, that's unacceptable for a wrestling show. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm not saying you have to have I'm not saying every special event or pay-per-view has to have I don't know, 14 matches or something like that. That's doing a bit too much. I think 7 to 8 matches, with good storylines, and the wrestlers who are involved in those storylines, hopefully the fans are on board with them. But this match, this Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles match, seriously, it was set up out of nowhere. And I know you guys heard about this. It was crazy. How this just happened. Just all of a sudden, Shinsuke Nakamura is taking on AJ Styles. What? Anyways, so yeah, basically, if you take out, since the Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes match didn't end up happening, right? And then you had, say that match doesn't even take place on this card, and then AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura doesn't even take place on this card. There will only be 2 matches. That's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. I think there have been wrestling shows where there've only been 2. No, I don't think 2 matches. I think that's. Has there been any wrestling shows that have had 2 matches? I don't know. I don't think so. But I don't fully remember. I think there have been shows where they have been less than 6 matches. I think the show that's coming to mind right now is for some reason I've never seen the show, but it's a show that people really like. But it's In Your House. Wait, I think was that an In Your House pay-per-view? Let me see, cause I don't fully remember. But let me see. Cause I don't fully remember. Cause the show I'm thinking about right now took place in 1997, right? And so I'm trying to remember if it was a In Your House. Let me see. Yes, it was actually. The show that I'm thinking about that only had 4 matches. It was In Your House 16, Canadian Stampede, which took place on July 6, 1997, in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Excuse me. And so there were only 4. There were only basically. Yeah, so basically there was a match on the free-for-all, but basically the show only had 4 matches, so that's pretty interesting, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, that's the show that was coming to mind when I'm thinking about, shows that have less than 6 matches, which nowadays there's less matches on these pay-per-view cards. Only 5 matches, that's it. So yeah, that's just unacceptable, but this is what they do nowadays. Yeah, getting back to this Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles match. Alright, so yeah, this is so they've had they had their trilogy of matches in 2018. You have their match at WrestleMania, which ended up being a very divisive match, I think. And so, yeah, I never saw that match, but I heard that it wasn't that, it wasn't really the level of quality, the match quality wasn't really what people were expecting, were wanting from that match. They wanted it to be great or potentially excellent, but apparently that's not what happened. Then they had a rematch at Backlash, which apparently ended in I think it was it ended in a no contest or something like that. Also, I want to say in the women's tag team match, so the interference, right? So interference in wrestling, is fine. But I also don't like when matches have like no finishes. So like when so if somebody interferes in the match ends in a disqualification. I don't like that. I have never liked that. I'm not gonna lie. I know that that's used to like potentially to like keep the storyline or like keep the feud going. But I've never liked that. Because for the main reason why the match could be going so good, so great or excellent, and then somebody interferes and ends the match and then if there's a disqualification. I never like that. I also don't like when there's like when a good, great, or excellent match ends in a countout. I don't like that either. That is no. Especially if you do like it's already bad enough if you do that on like the weekly TV shows, Raw or SmackDown. But if you do that on pay-per-view and people are spending their money and bought that pay-per-view and people are looking forward to that match, and then you end the match in either a disqualification or a countout, oh no. No. That's just unacceptable. Like I understand you want to keep the storyline or feud going, but ending it in a disqualification on pay-per-view, no. That's unacceptable to me. But anyways, back to this AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura match. So we already talked about the WrestleMania match. The Backlash match didn't have a finish either. And then their trilogy ended at Money in the Bank with AJ Styles defending the WWE Championship in the Last Man Standing match. I also did not watch the Backlash match either. Now, the Money in the Bank match I have seen, and that match was way better than this match for sure. It was way better. I thought that was a good match, the Last Man Standing match. This match right here, it was fine. It was decent. Like everything on the show was decent, but it was their Money in the Bank 2018 match, even though it was just good, it blows this match out of the water. It really does. It completely, that match is way better than this match by far. Even though I still think the match they had here at Saturday Night's Main Event was decent. I haven't seen the Wrestle Kingdom match, but they're just specifically talking about their matches in the WWE. Their Money in the Bank 2018 match, their Last Man Standing match was way better than their Saturday Night's Main Event match that they had at this Saturday Night's Main Event. And also, I'm not saying that their Money in the Bank, their Last Man Standing match at Money in the Bank 2018 was great or excellent. I'm not saying that, but I did think it was that good though. It was a good Last Man Standing match. This match, it was decent. It was decent, but it's not really a match that you would want to rewatch again. Like me personally, I don't really rewatch matches like that anyways. I watch the match for like the one, like when I see the pay-per-view and I see the match and I think it's either good, great, or excellent. After I watch the match, I say what I think it is, and then I don't really rewatch the match ever again. I just remember that the match, was good, great, or excellent. When I like rethink about the match. So yeah. I will also say, for this being AJ Styles' last match, it's very with this being the second to final last match for AJ Styles, it's very it's very it's not what you would expect. I mean, for AJ to have a second to last match, I was hoping you would hope it would be like a good, great, or maybe even an excellent match. I mean, I think that's pretty hard to expect from WWE nowadays, when Triple H and the creative team over there, they're horrendous at their jobs, as you already know. As C. Jackson BC tell you all the time, that Triple H and the creative over in WWE, Triple H and the creative team, in quotes, are horrendous at their jobs. They are garbage. But you guys know this. You know. If you watch C. Jackson BC, you know what they tell you. And they're 200% correct. So, Yeah, but it is unfortunate that this is AJ Styles' second to last match. I mean, I personally would not have picked Shinsuke Nakamura to be AJ Styles, second to last opponent. But I'm also not I could never be a wrestling promoter or booker, so there's that too. Yeah, and it's also disappointing. It's also, disappointing that it came to an end this soon. I mean, you had the match with Walter on Raw, which I did not watch, but Walter beat AJ Styles there, and then they quickly set up a rematch where the stipulation, as you guys know, if AJ loses, he has to retire. They quickly set that up. No storyline, just quickly set that up, and then he had the match with CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship, which Finn Balor ended up getting involved, and that match ended in a disqualification. I also did not see that match. I mean, CM Punk and AJ Styles is I think both guys are great. I do, and that's like a dream match. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know if these two ever had any matches, before, but that's like a dream match. I mean, but now that they're older, it could still be a dream match. It is still a dream match, but now that they're older, I don't think it would, it would be as good as it can be. Like, if this was like CM Punk from like 2012, 2013, or like, no, 2009, 2012, 2013 CM Punk versus like AJ Styles from like 2016 or something like that, I think that could be a potential match of the year candidate. I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't see the match, but I saw the highlights, and then he has this match with Shinsuke Nakamura, and AJ wins the match, and then he has the match with Walter at the Royal Rumble, and we'll get to that when we get to that, because I'm not happy about what happened. I'm still, no, that was unacceptable. I'm not letting that go. That was just, no, like, what was that? No. I'm not, I don't like what happened, but we'll talk about that. So, yeah, but it's really unfortunate. I mean, AJ only got to have 4 matches in the WWE for his final year. And, 2 of them were against Walter. And as you guys probably know, I am not a fan of Walter. I am not a fan of him. I thought when he had the match with Ilya Dragunov, sorry if I botched that, my bad if I botched that name. I thought when he had that match, I thought that was a very good match. It was brutal. It was brutal. I mean, Walter's chops, man. Oh, it was a brutal match, and there were no weapons involved. It was a straight wrestling match. But those two were being the moves they were doing to each other. It felt like it was like a no disqualification match, like a no holds barred match. It felt like that. But that match was Walter's best match, and has still been Walter's best match in the WWE. And it will probably be like that for the rest of the time he is still a wrestler. But yeah, I am not a fan of Walter. I mean, seeing that Walter, there seemed to be so much potential there, and now, all these years later, this guy, I'm not a fan. I mean, some of the matches that he's had that people call match of the year candidates, I don't see it, because I don't. I really don't. I am not a fan of Walter, and the fact that he is the person who retires John Cena. He makes John Cena tap out. Oh man, I was not happy with that. That was, I mean, everybody was talking about how they weren't happy with that. How they had John Cena tap out. The guy who has said, never give up. Mr. Never Give Up over here is smiling and tapping out to Walter. Oh my, this is what people are talking about. That Triple H and his creative team, again, in quotes, do not know what they're doing over there. But anyways, and then, having Walter beat AJ Styles the way he did, I mean, at least AJ Styles passed out and he didn't tap out like John Cena over here. Even though I think John Cena and AJ Styles are both great, but at least AJ Styles didn't tap out like John Cena. So he at least passed out. So that was better. But I'm still not happy about that though. Like, I did not want it to be over this soon for AJ Styles. I really didn't. But unfortunately, that's what happened. But anyways, we're getting off track. So basically, I've said all I can say about this Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles match. It was decent. All right, and then we have the main event. We have a number one contenders match to see who would face Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. We have Trick Williams versus Damian Priest versus Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton. Again, this match was decent. Like, I know I keep using that word, but it's true. Like, all the matches that actually took place, not including Fatu versus Cody Rhodes, of course, were decent. So yeah, this Fatal 4-Way, you know, it was decent. So like the other two matches. All right, so I'll also say, you know, everybody, you know, all four guys, they worked hard to put on a decent match. I think you guys know this if you watch the WWE reviews from 2024. But I'm not a fan of Damian Priest. I'm also not a fan of Trick Williams either. I mean, I think the Whoop That Trick, I mean, it's very catchy. I can't lie. It is. It's very catchy. And then when that song comes on and the crowd starts chanting or saying "Whoop That Trick," I get involved too. I'm like, "Whoop that trick, whoop that trick, whoop that trick." I get involved in that. I want to say it too because it's catchy, but I'm not really like. But besides that, I'm not a fan of Trick Williams. So yeah. Now I wanted Randy Orton to win this match. It probably was not going to happen, but because Randy Orton is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, I wanted Randy to win, even though, you know, we have already seen Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton many times. Out of all these three guys, even though I am a fan of Sami Zayn as a wrestler, he's had some good matches for sure. But I am also on the side of people who say that he does not need to become world champion. Absolutely not. No. Keep him away from that belt. He does not need it at all. He is not a main eventer. He is not. Just like Jey Uso was not a main eventer. They're not main eventers. They need to stay in the... Jey Uso needs to stay in the tag team division or in the mid-card. And Sami Zayn also needs to stay in the mid-card as well. So yeah, I wanted Randy Orton to win, but unfortunately that did not happen. Like, I understand they were in Canada, and then the Royal Rumble was in Saudi Arabia, but I still wanted Randy Orton to win, but unfortunately he didn't win. I also wanted to say that the King of the Ring tournament from last year, I also wanted to say in the finals between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, like, I know a lot of people, you know, they want to see Cody versus Randy Orton, you know, in a big storyline, you know, with their history and legacy and all that, and with a heel Randy Orton, that's like similar or close enough to his heel run in 2009. So people want to see that, and then they just completely wasted it and put these two in the finals of the King of the Ring last year. And I just wanted to say, quick side note, I wanted Randy Orton to win and become the King of the Ring. I wanted that. Unfortunately, that did not happen. And Triple H chose Cody Rhodes for some reason. Yeah. As you guys know, C. Jackson BC say this they say this that, you know, Triple H likes to play favorites. You know, he shows favoritism, and he definitely showed favoritism to Cody Rhodes in that match right there. having him win the King of the Ring over Randy Orton. I mean, no. Randy Orton is way better than Cody Rhodes, and he is and will always be better than Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton is great. I know we all know this. But yeah, just wanted to mention that as a quick side note. So Sami Zayn ends up winning the match. I think he pins... I think he pins Damian Priest after a haluva kick. I think. I don't fully remember, I'm not going to lie. But I think he ended up pinning Damian Priest to become the number one contender for the WWE Championship. And then, you know, we ended up getting Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre, with Drew McIntyre defending his WWE Championship against Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, Sami wins this match and goes on to face Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Alright, so overall, you know, the word I've used this entire review, Saturday Night's Main Event was decent. So yeah, there's that. And I think, you know, based on the like star ratings or like letter grades, I think every match here would be like, we get like the matches that actually took place, not including Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes. That the 3 matches that actually did happen would be like at the 3-star level, and then like either like, and then I think you can put them at like a C. Yeah, just a C. I was gonna say maybe a B, like a B, just a B minus, but they weren't that good. They were decent. So like, we'll say they were so every match gets 3 stars, and then a B. Every match would get 3 stars, and then you had, and then for the letter grade for the 3 matches, a B. So yeah, that's it for Saturday Night's Main Event, and so yeah, then we're gonna move on to recording the Royal Rumble review. Saturday Night's Main Event, you know, happened. I think it was a week before the Royal Rumble, so this is very late, but you know, it's gonna be released now, and we're gonna get to doing the Royal Rumble 2026 review. We're gonna record it right now, actually, after we finish recording this. So yeah, basically that's it. That's all I have to say about Saturday Night's Main Event, and yeah, I think that's it. Nothing else is really coming to mind right now. So yeah, so I keep saying I struggle to wrap a video, so I'm just gonna say bye.